Hello, patrons. It's Johannes from Noisebud, and a very happy Christmas and Merry New Year to all of you. This is about Shape2 Advanced Alpha008, and I made a couple of small changes, but it affect the plugin pretty. Yeah. Well, let's just get to it, and let me just switch screen. There we go. All right. So the difference between Alpha 6, that is the last version that I released, and Alpha 8 is the following things. First, the compress low control. This control is now exponential, and that's because I wanted it to be I wanted you to be able to fine tune stuff with when you're not boosting it too much. You're just trying to fine tune the low end or the processed signal, and you can do that by moving it at the left side of the control, and it start to boost really when you're above 12 o'clock, then it starts to boost like crazy. So I think from 12 o'clock to the max position, which now is 30 decibels, and I get to why that is. I think this is like 2 decibels of boost, and this is 30. Why this is 0 boost up to 2 decibels. So just be aware of that. It's way more sensitive, and when you go to the right side of 12 o'clock, then it's just crazy amount of boost. And why did I change the amount of decibels that the compressed low has? Because it used to be first 10 decibels, and then I raised it to 20 decibels, and now it's 30 decibels. That's because I changed how the signal behaves when it goes into the wave shaper. The thing with both the soft 1 and soft 2 shape is that it boosted the signal a lot by just because the shape was so extreme, so the signal got hot really fast, and that's now gain compensated. So it will sound pretty much the same. You will hear a small difference, that the shape is different, that the envelope changes when you go to soft 1 or soft 2, but the gain won't change as much as it's used to do in the former version. That means it's easier to switch between the shapes, and you don't have to go back to the compressed low to adjust the gain for the added gain when you use the soft 1 and soft 2 shapes in the wave shaper. So that is cool. I'm gonna demo that as well. And another change is that in the detection response algorithm, I changed the times a little bit. So I have raised the I don't remember which one I raised from Alpha 6, but it's now 0 to 500 milliseconds, the attack of the detection, then the release is 20 milliseconds to 3 seconds, and the response goes from 1 milliseconds to 3 seconds, and release from 20 seconds to 5 seconds. That used to be 3 seconds. And I did that because I wanted to be able to fine-tune how the dynamic wet bypass, dry and wet dynamic bypass control interacted with. I wanted you to be able to fine tune that a little more. So I changed the times. I probably, I don't know, we'll see if I change it further, because now I start to feel that I maybe want it to be even slower in some cases. So maybe the detection attack will be something else. We'll see. But that has changed as well. And another thing, the auto 2 low peaks control has been changed to be more robust. So it means that when you use Auto 2, Auto 1, manual and Auto 1 is exactly the same as it used to be, but Auto 2 is changed, and it will now control the peaks harder than it used to do. So it's both easier to dial in, but it's also more aggressive. So just be aware of that, so you don't kill the vibe of the low end. And I think those are the changes. So let's just play a drum loop through this and show you the differences. Let's start with the gain difference between liner and soft 1 and 2. So you can hear that it's not this same. You don't really hear. If you don't boost a lot, then you don't hear the difference as much as you used to do. It used to be that you put it on soft 2 and it just boom, a lot of low end. But it's not that way anymore. So that's how that's sounding. I'm using Auto 2 right now. Let's put it on manual just to see. Sounds about the same. I think I will just stop right there, because that's what's new. That's the new stuff in Alpha 8, and I will link to the old videos below, so you can have the complete walkthrough if you're new to the plugin. And I won't create a demo for Alpha 8 at this point. I will probably do it later. I'm so swamped with work, mastering work, so I don't have the time right now. Even though it's Christmas, I'm just in the studio 24/7 at the moment, and it will be like that into mid-January right now, because I'm fully booked. But after that, I hope things will ease up a little bit, so that I will have more time developing again. And there's another thing, I'm gonna release another plugin. We'll see if I have the time to do that as well. It's called Fres. I can actually, let me show you that just for funsies, so you can see what's coming. 1 second. All right, this is Fres, which is that sizzling sound that if you put something in a hot pan with butter in it, and that sizzling sound, bzz, that's the Swedish word for that sound, Fres. And this is based on the same wave shaping algorithm that's used in Shape2 Advanced, because I wanted to hear how does my saturation algorithms, how would that work if we remove the part of the algorithm that removed the distortion. So I just wanted to hear the distortion, and it turns out it sounds really nice. And I decided to let's just take away everything in Shape2 Advanced that tries to remove the distortions, and just keep that, but keep the plugin the same with the dynamic bypass functions and the envelope follower and everything. And that would make a really cool saturation plugin. And this is it. This is a really cool saturation plugin. It works really well. Let's start actually to listen to how it adds aliasing, and we're gonna do that by showing you it together with Nolius, which is my plugin to detect aliasing. So we're gonna drive this thing pretty hard, and we're not gonna use oversampling. So this means that we probably hear some aliasing. So let's do that. Let's float this actually, so I can turn that on and off. As you can hear, that fast modulation sound when the test signal goes up, when it starts to get near Nyquist, then it just starts to chirping. That's aliasing, and that something that we don't want. And this is when I drive this plugin really hard. So it creates aliasing like most of saturation distortion plugin does. So let's oversample this just one time and see if we still have the chirping thing when we get close to Nyquist. Oh, sorry, that's not the... As you can hear, we almost get rid of the aliasing at just 2 times oversampling. I'm usually at 4 or 8 times, so that means it's just pretty much gone. So it's really transparent when it comes to aliasing. It doesn't distort in the way that most or a lot of other plugins that do the same thing as this. So all right, let's just listen to how this sounds, and I'm just gonna run it through a drum loop right now. So let's do that. And right, yeah, let's start by driving it really like that, something like that. Here we go. It's really clean right now. The delta is almost silent, and because I don't drive the plugin that hard, let's drive it really hard and see how it sounds. This is how it sounds. So it's saturation. It's not unique in that way. The thing that makes this cool is the wet and dry and wet control that you can apply. In this plugin, you can use the dynamic wet dry for way more creatively than you can do in Phase 2 Advanced, because in Phase 2 Advanced it's more of a practical thing that you can use it to avoid creating automation to make the plugin work the way you want. So that's more of a practical thing, while in Fresh, in this context, even if the controls are exactly the same, you can use it more creatively. So let's play around with that a little bit. Right now, we're just activating the plugin at the peaks, at the transients of the kick, and that's it. So the rest of the delta is silent, so it sounds like this. We can make it a bit longer, so a little bit more of a release. And we can slow down the attack. And we can start to play around with the look ahead settings and stuff. So now you know what's coming, because I haven't had the time to create the setup files. That will be, yeah, we'll see when I have the time. I hope I can do it during the holidays, but yeah, we'll see. It's fully booked, pretty much. Family stuff, work stuff, mastering, and yeah, you know, it's just a lot right now. But anyway, you have Shape2 Advanced, the Alpha 8 build. It's in the download hub, and the demo is still at Alpha 5, I think. I will create a demo later on with the latest version, and it's getting really close to the final release, so you can start to use it more. It will be more. It works right now more as it will when I'm completely finished with the plugin. This plugin, however, Fresh, I will release that at version 1 because it's way easier to work with than Shape2 Advanced. Shape2 Advanced is really hard to dial in and make it work the way that I want. While this plugin was pretty easy. It just, I will release it as a final product. That's it for today. Merry Christmas, and I see you in 2025, and have a good night. Bye bye.